Welcome to the call, y'all. It is May the 6th, 2025. Can you believe it? It is crazy. It's already May. So, what tonight is going to be some really good testimonies. I think it's really important to share the progress of many people across the country. So, I decided to do this call tonight with some magnificent testimonies on my travels and then some local people here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, Jeff, if you could read the disclaimer first, and then we'll get started.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and I'll just put these words up full screen. You can see that's a little bit different background. It's not the block wall. Helen and I are out traveling today, the beginning of our 10 years of celebration tour. So this is exciting. You can see the words there in front of me. Just follow along with me as I read. These statements and comments have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This information is solely for educational purposes only and includes recent advances in research on micronutrients. Engage, the micronutrient company, does not claim that our products diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or prevent any disease or injury. However, Engage's products are formulated to address nutritional deficiencies and supply the body with the required nutrients. It's important to note that nothing here is meant to be a substitute for professional medical treatment or a consultation with your primary healthcare provider. So that having been taken care of, I'm going to send it back over to you. Go ahead, Beth.
Okay. So, Sam, are you there? Can you hear?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So I met Sam many years ago on my journey of healing, and I just happened to walk in his office in Pennsylvania with Chris, and he said, "I know you." So we reunited. But Sam is a practitioner in Pennsylvania, and he works with a lot of people, lots of people. So, Sam, what made you use Microdaily with all your other products that you had? Why did you start using the Microdaily for your clients?
Well, first of all, I was looking for something that was up and above and beyond what I was using. I told Chris that I'm going to try it for my worst cases. And yeah, I'm now seeing that it's more than what I thought it would be because it's helping in ways that I never thought possible.
So, what are some of those ways? What are you seeing with your clients? How you're helping them improve?
Uh, Faster response, um, energy, um, especially with these babies that are just not taking anything, not nursing or um, low oxygen levels, and it's just across the board. Cancer patients, um, people with knee problems. Yeah, it's just I'm seeing dramatic results.
So, what is like a top person that you've really helped that was a dramatic change?
Oh boy, got a few of them. Uh, One that really made my got my attention was Bertha, and she was a 2-year-old that was diagnosed with mycoplasma after we sent her to the hospital, which is basically mycoplasma is usually found in pneumonia in the lungs. This was uh, basically a day after she was admitted. They finally found what was going on, and when they uh, started giving her antibiotics, first they treated her for meningitis, and that didn't seem to take hold. And so when they got her they sedated her, and then after she started coming around, they put a feeding tube in her and gave her the hospital formula. But she still wasn't doing anything as far as progressing very fast. And we got permission from the hospital to use the microdaily in the feeding tube with the hospital formula. That really changed the things around. And those parents were so happy. So one evening I called and she was just crying like a distressed baby. After she got collagen, microdaily, and the probiotics, it changed like almost overnight.
Mm.
Those parents were so happy. Couldn't believe how fast she turned around. Another case was we had a 1-year-old come here at low oxygen. Her oxygen was down to 92. Her fever was 103, and we mixed some warm coconut oil with the microdaily hydro, and gave her an implant, rectum, and within minutes, she relaxed. She was just like an achy child. She was just moving around, just not comfortable. Within minutes, she was just relaxed. And within probably in half an hour, she started singing, fussing, And of course, we also did some oils on her back to get her oxygen up. Well, but this was probably one of the most dramatic, fast turnarounds that I've ever seen. Within an hour, her oxygen was up to fluctuating between 93 and 98. And her fever is down to 98.8.
Wow.
That was
That's
a wow.
a powerful product. You have anybody else you would like to share?
Yeah, the lady that had a knee problems for many years, and she tried just about everything. Couldn't get her knee to calm down. She just every day just get worse. We went to the doctor for her one knee, got a shot, which helped her. Gave her collagen with the other knee, but didn't seem to take hold. And we put her on the microdaily collagen. I think we put her on 6 scoops a day, 4 to 6 scoops she was taking. And it wasn't very long. She said to me, she called me and said, she doesn't have as much pain anymore. But then last week she called and said, "Don't you have any more collagen? I'm out." I said, "Well, I'm out too. I'm waiting on a shipment that just isn't coming." And her pain was coming back. She was basically pain-free by using this collagen versus the other collagen didn't do anything for her. But she was also taking the megas and the microdaily. Then also had a young boy that had a concussion, and the parents, this was probably half a year or a year ago. Parents weren't really aware of what was going on, and finally got to the point where the boy couldn't function anymore. Couldn't do he's just very behind in his lessons in school. Gave him the CBD. I guess they started with once a day and up to 2 times a day, and gradually seen a difference. Then they ran out, and they were sort of let it go. And after a bit, they called me and said they need some more CBD. The boy's just not functioning anymore. And they didn't realize it till maybe half a week or a week later that's actually what was doing it for him. That was what was helping him. So we also have cancer patients we're working with. We're very excited what we see with them.
All right. Well, what would you like to say to anybody if they were looking for why this product is so great? What would one thing you would give them to take away with this microdaily product that you would like to share?
Wow. I think it's very helpful to have someone as a coach some people go through a detox, and they don't know what they're, like I have one family, it's one of our children, married children, going through a detox right now. He wasn't quite sure if he wants to keep going with it because he had this dry mouth and just didn't feel quite like he did at first. I told him, you need to get on the product. You need to take at least the core 4 and just work with it. Get your dose up if you don't feel good and drink lots of water. Now they're back on it and going the other way. I would say just preach them. And, people will have all kinds of schedules and hectic schedules. Some people don't have time, don't have even time to think about what they're doing. This helps to be right there with them.
Right. So that is so true that you want to help coach people. You want to follow up with people anytime somebody's taking the product and they're new with it. So I really appreciate it, Sam, for coming on and sharing some of your client testimonies. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, you're welcome. I'm very grateful that you reached out, or we met together. We met again,
Mm-hmm.
Was it 4 or 5 years ago? And we were working together and some other stuff. And
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to know about these products, and really game changer for my business.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna switch gears and have Linda Gregerson. Linda, are you there?
Just had to unmute. I'm driving.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. So, Linda, I know you've got a testimony that you would like to share. So, if you could do that, and Jeff, are you gonna show any slides or whatever? Go ahead and do that.
just the one pictures is pretty much what I need. So I was one of those that were not doing really well on the GLP-1. I could feel some differences, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. And during my first month, I lost 1 pound. I mean, I could have fasted for a day and done that. So I wasn't super excited. And the next month I lost another pound, and I thought, this is not right. There is something else going on. And other people that were struggling, I've tried to run it through and see if I could find what they were doing. But some of them would forget to take their micro daily, and others would have a bad day, so they'd go eat 6 donuts or have a Coke. It just wasn't what I needed. But after I looked at mine for a little while, I realized, wait a minute, what would I tell my patients to do? I'd do a full body scan and I would do the blood work. So I did that on myself, and I was absolutely shocked at how much black mold and candida and fungus had gotten into my body, because I eat clean. I haven't really looked at it for like 6 months because I eat right. I just trusted it. Anyway, I had massive amounts of mold. And do you have those pictures, Jeff?
Yeah, the only pictures that I have are the ones with the colored one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay. All right. So let me pull those up. So this is your before picture.
They're all together, I think.
I've separated it. I've
Okay,
separated
I want the mold ones. That's not it.
I
was
know,
hoping
and
just
I
on
don't.
page, but
Okay, I don't have the mold ones. I'm sorry.
they were on the same email.
I know.
Okay, it won't do what I need, so I'll just have to try and explain it. You can take that one off. Anyway, I had so much mold that it took up most of my monitor. And it had candida and other stuff in there too. And I was just shocked So I put myself on what I had tried with a couple patients. And I took 9 micro daily, 3 times a day. I used the entire Core 4 package, took them as directed except for the micro daily EMF. I took 9 3 times a day, so that was 27 capsules. And then I got up one day and I lost 2 pounds, and I thought it was on like day 4. So I went into the office and said, okay, check my blood again because I'm losing weight. And they checked it. It was like maybe 10% of what it had been 4 days before that. And we looked through it, and I was so shocked that I went back in at noon and said, check it again. And they checked it again and laughed at me. And it was still like 90% gone. I just ate a good diet. I keep my carbs low, but I've kept my carbs low for the last 2 years. I eat between 10 and 20 carbs a day, but that's been going on for at least 2 years. So that didn't change. My diet didn't change. Nothing really changed except for my body started healing. And then I looked at my dried blood, and when it's all fractured and spread apart, it's really bad. It can be cancer, it can be a lot, but I had tons of inflammation on the first day. On day 4, it was also at least 80% gone. It was amazing the difference 4 days made. So I took it for a total of 7 days before I cut it down to 6 3 times a day. And we did my blood today, and you can hardly see any of the mold or anything in it. But now I am down 10 pounds, and I haven't been able to do that. So a lot of times I think when people are struggling with losing the weight, those receptor sites cannot be cleared off as long as you're full of mold and fungus and other things. And sometimes we might have to go heavy on the microdaily for a week for the GLP-1 to be able to click in. I've done this now with 2 others, and they're absolutely amazed that the microdaily at those high doses would wipe it out that fast and start their weight loss journey. So I just know there are some people out there that are not getting the results of their friends. And I tell you, it has to do with other things in the body. Those receptor sites have got to be cleared away and be able to be accessed. So for me, it's not about chasing the scale. It's about restoring balance in my biome and in my body and everything that it needs to be. The GLP-1 boost supports that natural hunger so that you're not as hungry. But I tell you, the micro daily EMF cleans things up so that the GLP-1 can be cleaned off and work faster.
Well, I totally agree with you, Linda, on that. And that's why we try to teach that the GLP is to
Oh,
help.
there it is. Okay, there's the slide. Let me really quickly go on. If
Okay.
you look at it, the first 3, I don't know if you can zoom it in. I turned my phone sideways, I see it better. You can look at those big gray masses in there. That's mold. Those first 3. And I could have put 10 of those on there. It was horrible. But after 4 days, this is the only slide. The one just down under that, Jeff. After 4 days, this is the most I could come up with fungus or mold in my blood. It was absolutely shocking to me that it could work that fast. Okay, go down one to the dry ones now. This was my dried blood. And if I didn't want to admit it to myself, or I am totally in denial. That first one looks like stage 2 or stage 3 cancer. The hospital found some in me last November, and I thought I had treated it and I let it go. But with all the mold and fungus, it was growing fast. The second slide is how much it reduced in 4 days. And I started losing weight. I'm only weighing myself once a week, but I'm guessing by the way my clothes fit, I am probably down 12 to 14 pounds now. Okay, thank you, Jeff.
You're
Wow.
you're welcome. Sorry, I didn't was ready to go to begin with, but back over to you, ladies.
Okay. Anyway, we're done with the slides. Thank you. Anyway, I just want to put out there for people, sometimes if they're really struggling with the GLP-1, as leaders and in this business, we maybe need to encourage them to look someplace else, or even it's not going to hurt them to take extra micro daily for a whole week. I've run this past Dr. Prasad before, and it will not hurt anyone to do that. And see if it doesn't clean them out if they can't start losing the weight faster. And at first I always thought, why is it always me that does this? And I realized if it wasn't me, I couldn't have run the test because I knew exactly what I ate. I knew exactly my supplements that I took every day, and it was an exactness. And so the results I got were this.
So basically, Linda, what you're saying is consistency is very important.
It is. And so is diet and cleaning things up. And most people just don't realize that.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for sharing. And you know, Linda's been with Micro Daily now for what, 4 years, Linda?
Yeah.
Yep. So thank
But
you.
I see it every day in my office too. I mean, I see patients every day. The ones that are, they can come into my office and I say, you're not taking your micro daily. And they'll say, why? And how do you know? And I said, because I see it in your blood work, I can see it in your scan. I can spot it immediately if they are or if they are not.
Do you have any quickly a testimony that you would like to share from your office that stands out to you?
I've got so many. It's like, which one do I have a lot of cancer patients come in that are already pre-diagnosed with cancer. And if they will follow the plan that I had there, at the end of 30 days, you can no longer see the mold, the toxins, the perfect recipe for cancer. And the cancer is barely even visible. Even their doctors will say they can hardly even find it. But that's just generally all the way through there. I have a 5-year-old who came in, 4-year-old who came in with massive mold worms. And I didn't know what to do with him for sure because he's very autistic. So I put him on the micro daily sticks. I put him on 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 2 at night. That's a lot to give a 4-year-old. But I think it was the parasites and everything else. But he quit itching. He quit crying all day. He was able to get up, and the first word that his mom has heard him say was hi when he came in to see me. He's on the collagen. They break open the omega capsules and squirt it in his mouth. He takes the probiotics stirred in breakfast of whatever he eats. But I tell you, he's a different child than he was before he started the Core 4.
Wow, it's just nobody's too young and nobody's too old to take this product. Oh, that's really what it's about. It's good for everybody. Well, Linda, I appreciate you sharing your testimony and thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Doug Barnett.
Come
Are you there?
on. Howdy.
Hey, how are you going?
I'm well.
Well, that's good.
I'm alive and kicking.
Well, we have some good slides for them to see.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Juicy ones, huh?
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, I say I'm alive and kicking. That wasn't always the case. I've died twice. I want to start with this. I've died twice in the last 4 years. And I'm not just talking about a near-death experience. I'm talking about graveyard dead. I mean, the first time was 11 minutes documented. The second time was a total of 16 minutes. Both of them were from pulmonary cardiac arrest. And they tried to get my wife to pull the plug almost immediately upon putting me on life support after they did get my heart going. And she just said, no, I have a God who raises people from the dead. I'm not going to give up on my husband. So that's the kind of wife to have. If there's any guys out there looking for a wife, mine's taken. But the reason I bring that up is because my health has not been good for the last 4 to 6 years. Got diabetes and a lot of issues. But one of the things that is going on with me is venous stasis. And for people that don't know what that is, it's well, I don't know if I can describe it exactly, but it's my blood flows through my legs down to my feet, but it doesn't pump back up correctly. And they've tried putting stents in my legs and many other things and gotten no progress. Some of the current, well, say I'll call them current for now, sores that I have. What happens is you get these big blisters on your legs, and then they turn into open sores, which we call ulcers. And some of the current, well, both legs, I've had open sores or ulcers for 10 years. I've had this going on for about the last 14 years, but my wife and I say that for the last 10 years, the current ulcers have not progressed. So I was going to a wound doctor every 2 weeks to begin with. Then they changed that to once a week. And after a few years of that, and still no progress. And during that time, they were putting in these stents and they were trying other things. But they, I got lost. So I had the sores for the last 10 years. No progress. Then they tried to tell us that they wanted me to come in twice a week. And by that time we said, no, we can't afford the money to come back and forth twice a week. So my wife just started wrapping my legs every few days. And she does a great job, but still no progress. Then God came into the picture. And you'll see how how it all came together. My wife works at Costco selling hearing aids. And Denise Blankenship, who's on board, I guess everybody knows Denise. She's an angel that works for the company. And she came into, we haven't seen her in years. She's a dear friend of ours, but she came into Costco with a hearing aid that needed adjusting, and she ran into Mary. They started talking about me and my health issues and what I'd gone through. And she says, well, as a matter of fact, I have something you might be interested in. And ultimately we got on a bundle of them. Let's see, I was taking Omega Daily. I don't know if I was doing the Heart Boost then. The probiotics, digestive boost, mainly the Micro Daily and the Hydro. But we started that. So some of you guys have been doing this for 4 years and stuff, I heard. We started this last November. Within, after 2 weeks, we saw some progress. And we were excited about that. Do you have a picture of the before?
Yeah, it's on the screen next to you. We got
Oh, it is?
before and we have the after.
Oh, okay. Y'all are seeing it, I'm not seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So that was a before picture. Is that the right one, Mary?
Mhm.
Well, that doesn't look very bad right there. That's one after 2 weeks.
But that top one got healed. Look at the top one's gone.
Yeah, I thought we had some that were at the first and with the worst ones. But anyway, oh, okay, the left one's on, is, when they were bad, but the right one, how many days?
That was 2 months.
Okay, this is 2 months after we started taking them. My right leg, which this is my right leg, right? Oh,
There's your right leg.
there's my right leg. Before and after. You see how bad they were. That was like that for 10 years. And then right now, my right leg is completely healed. That's the bottom line. I've got one little bitty spot, but it's basically completely healed. And my left leg is about 85% healed. And there is no other explanation besides these supplements, Micro Daily and the rest of them. And I give God all the glory, but he uses things like doctors and technology and supplements to make his purposes, to complete his purposes. And right now, I can't say that all my health is back to normal, but I just started taking these relatively. So we are on board. I've been a very skeptical person when it comes to this type of thing. Never liked homeopathic, etc. I am on board. They said, or I said, can I say that I drank the Kool-Aid? I'm I'm completely on board with this. And even after it it heals my blood pressure and my diabetes, which um, I'm sure it's going to, and my eyesight needs some work, and my hearing, and all these things I believe are going to come in line with this. Was this a disclaimer? Am I saying something wrong? But anyway, it's not all about getting healed. It's about, as Beth told me, it's about being healed. It's about staying in a healthy manner, and that's what we're looking for. But I give the glory to God and to engage. Yeah, that's it. That's me.
All right. Thank you, Doug. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We look forward to more progress for you. Keep it up. Okay. Harry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So tell us how long you've been on the product and tell us what conditions that you were dealing with and how are you doing now?
I've been on the products about 5 weeks. And last October, I had open heart surgery. My main coronary artery was 90% blocked, and they had to repair my mitral valve at the same time. For the last year and a half or so, I have not been able to work. What I did not know is that I had gum disease, which spread throughout my blood system, and some of it messed up my heart, and some of it went to my brain. So, and the kind of work I did before required tremendous brain power. Over 15 years, I was on conference calls in talking to people in 207 countries. So because of being on the products now for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I am radically different. It's not just me saying that. I'm now talking online just to a few people, and I'm able to do the work I used to do. And it's just amazing how big a difference the products have helped me. The brain, I still have some brain fog, but nowhere near what I had before. My energy level has greatly increased. My appetite is improving. I'm able to get off some of my meds. I was on 2 meds to help me sleep, and now I don't need them. I believe over time now I'll be able to phase off of all the meds I'm on. So I can't state enough how much the products have helped. I'm 78 now, and before I was concerned that I might have a stroke. Now I feel I'll live to at least 100, but healthy. So I highly recommend the products. And Beth has helped me immensely explaining in detail how much of the products I should take and when. In other words, how to space them.
Well, Harry, I've known you for years, and I know when I've talked to you before, you can barely hold a conversation. So I definitely see the improvement in the brain power that you have been given for the last few weeks being on this product.
Let me just add one more thing. I spoke earlier today with someone I've been working with for many, many, many years, about 15 years. He happens to be located in Auckland, New Zealand. And he went, I had sent him an email, which you helped me compose. And he said he's going on the products. We have someone we work with in the United States that's going to receive his products, and then he's going to forward them.
Well, when people see the importance of them, they'll get them no matter where they are. So that's a good thing. So thank you for sharing your testimony. We appreciate it. I've got a couple more people that are going to do their testimony. Horace, you're next.
Okay. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. The micro daily products really saved my life. Back in 2023, 22 and 23, I didn't think I would be alive today. That's just how bad my health was. I was on all kinds of medicines, but nothing seemed to really work. I had poor eyesight. I walked like a 200-year-old man, all bent over with a cane. I stumbled when I walked through my house like I was drunk. And if there wasn't a sofa or a chair or something close by, I would hit the floor. And then my knees were so tender, I would struggle to get up out of the floor. And sometimes it would take me about 15 minutes to get up out of the floor. Well, I didn't tell my wife because I know she would worry about me. So a friend called me one day. We had gotten out of touch for a while. And we saw each other on Facebook and we reached out. And so he called me. And I was sitting here feeling miserable. And so I answered the phone. And it was my good friend, Bernard Dean. And Bernard, we talked, got acquainted. And then he asked me, he says, well, how's your health? And you know how that is. Most people will say, oh, I'm fine, when you're actually not fine. And so he says, well, you know, we were in the same place at one time, and I know what your health was like. So how is it, honestly speaking? I said, well, it's so-so, but I said, I'm getting by. So he said, well, I tell you, my wife and I found something that has truly changed our life and our health. I said, no, if you're talking about some product, I am not interested, don't want to hear about it, I'm through. So he said, you really need to hear about these products. I said, no, I don't. He said, yes, you do. Well, he was a close friend in Georgia where we both live. And so I said, okay, in order to get rid of him, I'm going to have to try these products. And so I said, what I'll do, I'll buy them, try them for a day or two. So when he calls and asks me if I tried them and what the results was, and I said, I'll throw the rest of it in the garbage. And so in the meantime, my wife was in a boating accident about 8 years ago where she suffered 3 vertebrae in her back. And she was in excruciating pain most of the time. So when she would come in from work, it would bring tears to my eyes because she could just barely drag in the house, take a shower and go to bed, wouldn't even eat, and then get back up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready to be at work at 5 o'clock. So when he told me about those products, I said, okay, maybe this might be something that will help her. So we ordered the products. At that time, we ordered Dr. Prasad's core, not the core 4, but the, what was the other big package that Dr. Prasad had, Beth?
It was, I can't, it's Dr. Prasad's core 4. It was five
The
products.
choice bundle.
Yes,
Right,
thank
exactly.
you.
And so anyway, we got that. We ordered it on about a Friday, and about that Wednesday, the product came. So my wife started to take the product. But just before that, she was introduced to a doctor who told her, I can help you get rid of your pain. So what he did, he gave her steroid shots in her back that was supposed to actually last 6 months to a year. Well, the first time she got the shot, it did last about 4 or 5 months, and she was really happy. Well, then the pain started to come back. And then each time after that, which was about 4 different times, it got shorter and shorter and shorter to where the doctor just said, Miss Donnell, I'm sorry to tell you, but these shots are not doing you any good, so you're going to need back surgery. She said, no, I'll just suffer with the pain. But anyway, the products came, and she started taking the products. Within 4 days, her back pain left. And so I said, okay, if it works for her, it may work for me, because I suffered with lymphedema really bad. My legs were things were swelled up like that. My feet were swelled up. I had neuropathy really, really bad. The itching of the and the burning sensation and the coldness of the feet. So we tried it, and it actually worked. Within 3 days, I noticed a tingling sensation in my legs. My legs started to go down. But because both of us was taking the big dosage, we ran out of product. And all that good work that the Micro Daily Products had done, that thing started to come back with a vengeance. So for 15 days, we had to be without the products. So we made a vow to each other that we would never be without these products as long as God put breath in our bodies. And so after that, we started taking the products. I would say within a week, my ankles and legs went down. In another week or so, I was able to straighten my body up and got rid of the cane. The next week or two, my eyesight cleared up. And so even though I'm 86 years old now, I still stumble occasionally, but I don't stumble as much as I used to, Beth. And these Micro Daily Products have truly gave me and my wife back our lives. And when I go to the doctor, I have suffered 2 heart attacks, and I have a pacemaker. And normally I go to the doctor every 2 or 3 months. Now I go to the doctor once a year. That's how good the Micro Daily Products have kept this body in the shape that it's in now. And so I was talking to my cardiologist, and I was telling him about Dr. Prasad and about these Micro Daily Products. And he said, well, you got to be very careful with these so-called natural products, and these doctors are nothing but quacks. I said, Dr. Rosenblum, you call a man a quack and you don't know nothing about him. I said, he's one of the most brilliant scientists that ever formulated any products. And I said, he puts his name on there. I said, the products that you're pushing to me, what doctor formulated those? Can you tell me? And he said, no, I can't. So he didn't like that too well. I said, but they tell me that you are a brilliant cardiologist. I said, what would you like it if I went out and told your customers that you were a quack, that you didn't know what you were doing, and you were prescribing stuff that really didn't work? So we talked, and we talked like that back and forth. And so I took in the brochure, the science brochure, and told him about Dr. Prasad. I told him exactly what products that I was taking. So he told me, he says, well, you have to be really careful. I said, I am, Doc. I'm really careful. I said, but I'll tell you what, I will stop taking your medicines before I stop taking the microdaily products. That's how much faith I have in those products, because I know what they did for me and I know what they did for my wife. So the microdaily products, they truly do work. They are backed by science. Dr. Prasad puts his name on everything. And I love the fact that he has that CQF code on there. Right combination, right quantity, and right formulation. And those products work.
Well, Horace, I say that you have it down pat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent testimony. I always love hearing you tell your testimony. So I really appreciate you coming on this call and telling us your testimony.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell my testimony, and in the meantime, if there's somebody on here that has a really good eye testimony, if you would raise your hand and want to share it, I will let you go next. But I was asked to tell my testimony, so I'm going to give my testimony. And then at the end, Jeff, we can show those pictures. In 2008, I was poisoned by a chemical called Sahara. It was being sprayed under the high transmission power lines that were behind my house. I was working in my yard. I was building a knee wall out of rock. And so I got the drift of the chemical. Shortly after that, it shut my brain down. I had brain damage less than a 2-year-old. I couldn't talk, walk. My nervous system was damaged. My endocrine system was damaged. I had heavy metal poisoning, extreme edema, and I could not deal with light, sound, or vibration. I would have convulsions 100 times a day. Even if an airplane flew over the house, it would make me have a convulsion. So I was on a journey for many, many years, trying to find out what to do, how to help me, and just really how to survive. In 2021, I got a phone call from a guy that connected me with Jeff and Helen, and I agreed to meet Jeff and Helen. I really didn't want to meet them. Isn't that funny how all of us have a testimony, but we really did not want to hear about it? So, I mean, I had taken so many products. I thought they were the best of the best. And so I told my daughter, I said, well, I'm going to go meet them out of respect. I don't really want to hear about anything, and I'm definitely not buying anything. And so Jeff, Jeff, oh, we're just going to be coming through Charlotte, North Carolina. We know he wasn't, but anyway, maybe he was. I don't think so. So I get in the van, and they show me the radiation, the 5G radiation video. And I knew when I watched that video that these people knew what they were talking about, because I had lived it for so many years. So I'm really sitting there watching this video, not fully being able to concentrate, because I'm thinking, man, the Lord just really answered my prayer. I need to call Brandy, my daughter, and tell her, you got to come hear this. So I did. I made an instant decision, and that's what it's all about. The belief system is here. Everybody that knows me knows that I believe in microdaily. I believe in Dr. Prasad. I believe in Dave. I believe in the whole company. I just believe in everything, because the testimonies speak for themselves. And when you've been laying in a bed for so many years, a black room, you can't deal with lights, just nauseated, headaches, just everything. And then all of a sudden it goes away because you're just on a product. But y'all, it's that the body when you give the body what it needs, it will self-correct. And that's what happened. The product assisted my own immune system to be able to heal me. So that's my story. And I always love to share it because so many people out here suffer from dealing with computers, cell phones, cell towers, just, being in a building or working at the mall or whatever, and everybody needs this product. I mean, everybody needs this product. It's just amazing. You can go all across this country and everybody's got the same problems because we're all dealing with the same atmosphere. So always share. Don't be scared to share. Nancy, I see that you have your testimony, so we're going to highlight you.
Okay, so
Thank you.
thank you. So I love your testimony. It's truly amazing. You're an amazing woman. So for going through and you're just we love you. So I boost testimonies, not mine. It's my husband's. So hubby has been wearing glasses since he was been in the 10th grade. He is now 68 years old. As soon as the iBoost came out, I started taking it, but he has the amazing testimony. So I'm back to 2020. But so I actually have the prescription. I'm going to read it here for you. So the product came out in February. He went to see his eye specialist, and once a year he gets his eyes checked. So typical men just don't want to take 2 a day. So he was taking 1 a day. So his eyes went from left eye went from 3.75 down to 3.0, and this is back in 2023. His right eye went from 2.25 down to a 1.75. 1 year later, we go back to see the eye doctor, and his prescription went from 3.0 down to a 2.75, and the other eye went from a 1.75 down to a 1.50. Okay, so his eyesight has improved for 2 solid years. He still has to get new glasses. He has to get the glass portion of it because he is seeing better. So love our products, and he can't believe, how much his eyesight's improved. So, and he still just takes once a day. So, but anyway, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure.
Yes. So, Harry, did you want to share your eye testimony real quick?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we don't know the exact cause. It might have been from the open heart surgery last October, but the main vein in my left eye, start my video. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just turned on the video. Okay, repeating what I was trying to say. We don't know what the cause was. It might have been from the open heart surgery last October, but the main vein in my left eye is blocked. My vision has greatly improved, even that I've only been on the products 5 or 6 weeks. So, you don't realize how important vision is until you start having problems with it. So the products are amazing. It's just unbelievable. And Dr. Prasad, his credentials are unbelievable. So we're all very fortunate. And I can't thank you enough, Beth, for guiding me on which products to use and how to use them.
Absolutely. So thank you. So now we're going to really show kind of graphic, some pictures of a guy's thumb. When I was in Pennsylvania, I was doing a meeting, and the guy stood up and he said, "I have to share my testimony." And I've never seen stage 3 cancer in a thumb, but I definitely saw it that night. So this first picture here is stage 3 cancer, and he had 1 immunotherapy treatment before somebody got microdaily to him. And he was doing it that first treatment. He was very weak. He couldn't go back to work. And then somebody shared him the microdaily. Well, his next treatment he was able to be on the microdaily, and he was able to go right back to work. He had had 3 treatments when y'all see this second picture here. That was 3 treatments of immunotherapy along with taking the high dosing of the microdaily protocol. So he also had his lymph nodes under his arms. He couldn't put his arms next to his body because it was so painful, and that also went away. So he is very high energy. He's just loving the microdaily. He's still healing. I look forward to seeing him when I go back. But y'all, that's only 5 weeks. Those 2 thumbs are 5 weeks apart. So I just wanted to share this last testimony to sum up the testimonial call for tonight. So I really want to thank everybody for being on here. I want to thank the whole Engage, different lines and that. We all work together. We appreciate it. And just remember, if you don't share it, all these people like myself would never be where we're at today. I probably wouldn't be here because your nervous system can only take so much before it gets done. And I was about to that point. So I'm very grateful for Jeff and Helen coming, just so happened to be coming through Charlotte. Right, Jeff?
Right, Beth. It's amazing, and to see us kind of back in the van, enjoying 10 years ago, we started out seeing people, and we're now engaging in a 10 years celebration tour, and we'll be back out there again. We're going to be seeing a lot of people between now and Orlando on August 8th and 9th. And so, yeah, be looking for us. We'll be in parts all around the country. And thank you, Beth, for saying yes to us meeting you in a parking lot.
Yeah.
So,
all right, y'all, you have a fantastic week, and appreciate everybody participating tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth.
good night, everybody. Thanks again, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, everybody.
Great call.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth. You look so good.
Good night.
Thank you, Beth.
Excellent call.